Today we're looking at the world of Halo Scale ODST Rookie with drop pod plus accessories. This is part of Wave 6. And as you can see in the back of the box, just going to hang on this image for a second so we can see some upcoming 2-packs that haven't been announced. Not that Jazzwares actually announces anything really, but you can see some upcoming 2-packs which I'm definitely excited for and will be picking up and be posting in the community tab. As soon as I see them go up either on Amazon or Target or they're found somewhere, I'll let you guys know. So in case you guys are wondering, I do try to keep everybody up to date on at least the Halo stuff on the community tab. So check back there. Not often, but just check back there sometimes and maybe you'll see something pop up. But anyways, getting on to the figure itself, let's just go through the accessories, which includes a single occupant exo-atmospheric insertion vehicle, also known as the drop pod, the M6C SOCOM, and the M7S caseless submachine gun. Both weapons that I really enjoyed from Halo 3 ODST. This is supposed to be the rookie, but because the rookie wore generic ODST armor, we can just basically use him as a generic ODST, which is awesome. So, let's see, where do I start? Because I'm actually very happy with how things came out with this set, aside from one thing which I'll get into towards the end of the video, but the drop pod, because let's face it, it's what everybody wants to look at. So detail wise, the drop pod is done really well. I think they did a great job with all the molding work throughout the entire vehicle and everything. The ODST little logo there on the front looks amazing. The only issue I have with it is that it's a little bit too plain. I feel like there should have been some paint apps around there somewhere. Basically a big hunking piece of plastic on the outside with just some white paint. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad, it's just there is no detail. It is very shiny. It definitely screams customize me, which is something I'm probably going to end up doing. Aside from that, it does look really good. There is a lot of detail in there that makes it look pretty accurate to what I've seen in photos online for reference. So yeah, there we go on that. I will say though, on the back here, there are 4 giant screws that kind of like just shimmer out there, all the legal detail. Not the best look in the back, but it's fine. They did fill in the gaps. You can maybe see that on these little things. They didn't leave them hollow, which is great because there are definitely companies that would have just hollowed that part out to save money on plastic. They didn't do it here, which I'm happy about. So obviously one of the main features about this vehicle is that we can open the canopy right there. It does pop off. When you get it in the packaging, these little blasting parts are actually pushed in and held up with these little tabs right here. And you're supposed to move them down so that the canopy itself can kind of fly off. Now, I've messed with this for a good while. I've had it for a few hours now. And if there is a button or a secret way to make it actually blast off, I haven't found it. I've accidentally gotten it to kind of fly off a few times while trying to find something. But for the most part, the way it's advertised, a blast open hatch, yeah, it doesn't really blast open. You got to open it from the bottom. When the springs are out, it does kind of push forward when you're starting to open it, but it also makes it a lot harder to close it. When they're pushed in like they are right now, it makes it easier to close it. So yeah, kind of weird on that end. As for the hatch itself, I do wish we had gotten a way to lift it up or something, because it would have been nice to have it open so you could act like they're getting inside the drop pod or something. That's not on there. It's fine, but it is something I wish we had gotten. What I really wish we had gotten was some detail inside the hatch, because we should have some screens, buttons and lights and everything. Obviously we're not going to have actual lights, but some screens and stuff on here. Instead it is a very plain piece of plastic, which sucks because again, would have been nice to get that extra detail on the inside here. Again, I understand why they wouldn't do it. You're not going to really be seeing it that much. It's going to be popped off or something, but still would have been a nice extra detail. As for the inside, it does look really good. The seat is painted green. There is, again, a lot of detail in there and a lot of not detail in there at the same time. The bottom does go in a good ways down. There is nothing on the walls here. There is no weapon storage, which is a big bummer. I really wish they had included at least a peg hole on the left and the right so we could attach the weapons. It wouldn't have been that hard for them to kind of just mold in a little hole for this so that we could have just gone in here and plopped it in there, because you know they're supposed to have those weapons kind of holstered in there in the game, but in here it's just plain. You can fit them in there, but they're gonna just fall and flop around and stuff. No extra storage on the side here. I believe from what I've seen online, there's supposed to be like a little hatch here that comes off and you can just put the weapons in there. It's all a piece of plastic. It's fine. I don't really mind that as much as I wish we could just holster the weapons on the inside. I feel like that was definitely a missed opportunity on their end, especially since all they had to do was drill in a little hole so we could put the weapon in with the peg. Wouldn't have been that hard. But you could just say that's nitpicking. So anyways, again, the inside looks really nice, and we do have the little control sticks right there. We can get our little ODST, put him in a sitting pose, get his hands out, and just basically slide him in there, put him in, and he can hold on to the controls really, really well. Fits in there really nice. One thing I really do like is the fact that they, I guess I want to say thought ahead, because they made it big enough so that we can get Chief, and this is any Chief. I've already tried it with the Infinite Chief. I tried it with the Halo 3 Chief. So we can get him, get his hands. I believe this is the one that came with the mongoose. I had to think about the word. I kept wanting to say ghost, but that's not right. You can see he does fit in there pretty okay. His head is touching the top, so if they make any of the taller Spartans like Jerome or Samuel for whatever reason, which would be cool, he has like generic Chief armor, but he'd be taller, assuming they actually went with the right height. Yeah, they're not going to fit in there. I don't think that's going to be an issue for most of us. As for Halo 3 Chief, I think he fits just a little bit better in there. I think he is shorter from what I remember when I did his review. And fit him along inside. He can grab onto the controls as well, like so. He's not holding them right now, but can't get it in there. And yeah, his head isn't touching the ceiling as much. The feet have enough room that are actually not even on the ground yet. Looks really good. I'm really happy with it. And what I really like about this drop pod is the fact that we can close it up. If I can actually get it in. There we go. We can close it up and we can still see Chief on the inside because there is glass. And I think I've mentioned this in a few reviews before for vehicles. When you can put a figure inside and we can actually look inside the vehicle and see the figure, that's the whole point of it. I don't see why sometimes we will get vehicles where it's blacked out, because I want to see the character in there. That's the main reason why I want to put the character in there, so I can see him in there. They accomplished it here, which is awesome. You can see Chief in there. We can see the rookie in there if we want. So yeah, anybody who wants to get this for Master Chief, or at least have one for Master Chief and then have your ODSTs and everything, he does fit. And since he is one of the bigger figures for this line, I can basically say that most of the Spartans, as long as they can get a nice sitting pose, can fit in there perfectly fine. I don't think any other Spartan's actually taller than him that we've gotten so far. So yeah, we do have opening doors here, as they should. They don't open too much, but they open enough, which is fine. I do like it. It does add a little bit to the playability. It adds a little bit more space. It makes it easier to actually get the figure in there. I should have opened them while putting Chief in there, but yeah, we can have the doors open. Now, I do want to mention that these ones open smoothly, no issue, but the one I have over here, the right door, does not want to open at all. I don't know what the issue is. Maybe there's excess plastic in there or something, but the left one opens and the right one just does not. And I do not feel comfortable enforcing it because I feel like it's very thin plastic and it may break. If it does break, I don't think it's too big of a deal, in the sense that I'll probably still be able to put it in there and close it and everything, but that's really not the point on something this new or whatever. These issues, I wish just did not exist. I am definitely going to have to figure out some way to get that door to open. Otherwise, this will be one that I just do not ever open because, again, it sucks. I know QC issues are very common, but they still shouldn't happen. But it is what it is. I'm glad at least one of these two works fine. I do have a third one that I haven't opened up, so here's hoping that one doesn't have any issues. Taking a look at the rookie himself, I think they did a great job detail-wise. I was a little nervous when I was seeing the promotional images for this figure and a few other images I've seen of him because of the way his arms are kind of curved and everything. It looked really weird. It looked awkward to me. But I can say that he can actually get his arms all the way down. Kind of. They have a lot more movement than what I expected. The only thing that's kind of keeping them from going all the way down are these little things on his belt. But again, look-wise, I think he came out looking really, really nice. The camo on his pants came out really good. The black looks fine, and the line on his helmet is perfectly fine. So really nothing to complain about paint app-wise or detail-wise. I will say in the box, he does have his backpack that you do have to peg in, or if you wanted to leave it out, you can, and peg in his weapon on the back right there. So it's really up to you, but I think he looks great with that on there. He can hold his gun with both hands perfectly fine, though he doesn't have that up and down movement that I wish he did. He still has the other joints. So they're trying though. They're trying. And we're going to get into why they're trying and why it's awesome. But I do wish they would give him the correct hands. Otherwise, it looks really good. No issues there. I really do like this weapon. I've always liked this version of the SMG so much better than the one from Halo 2. And then we have his pistol right here, which again looks awesome, looks good. It's very flat, very black, but it's not really an issue for me at all. Articulation wise, this figure shines so much brighter than any other figure in the World of Halo line. Now, he isn't without his faults, don't get me wrong, but the effort I see going into this figure is something I really hope we see moving forward. I really like it. We're going to talk about it in a second. So let's start off with his head, which he can look up very, very well. That is so good. That is like falling and looking forward type of position. Great range on that. Can look down, equally as good. Great range on the head. Can look left, can look right. No real pivoting still, but if you have him look to the right and then kind of just tilt his head back or tilt his head forward, kind of works. But yeah, when you're looking forward, no tilting right there. It's fine. Arms can go up that much. I know it's not great. The armor is the other thing getting in the way. If it was rubbery and it was attached at the bottom, we probably could have gotten away with a little bit more, but it is what it is. Downwards, like I said, he can go down more than what some of the photos were showing. A lot of people that I've seen, or at least the promotional images I've seen, has had his hands like that, and I thought that looks horrible because of the gap right there, but they can go down, and if you move the arms back, you can see they can actually go down all the way. It's just these little things here on his side keep them from coming down any more than, well, they do. So just wanted to point that out because it was something that was bugging me every time I saw the promotional images. But yeah, elbow joint right there, 90 degrees, rotation, wrist, again, that hinge, which I'm not a big fan of. We're going to get to the waist because that's where it gets really good. But legs can't go out that much because of the armor here, unfortunately. Again, harder plastic. I mean, it's like slightly pliable, but not enough to actually matter. Foot can kick up about that much, can kick back that much. Double jointed knee, it does really, really good. Doesn't look great, but looks really, really good right there from the side. We do have upper thigh rotation, and we do have forward, back, and we do have ankle pivot. And really quick, just because I just noticed the shiny black on his feet right here look really good. It comes down to the shoes and everything. So, man, the paint on him, honestly, they really did try to put their best effort on him when it comes to the paint apps and everything. The UNSC looks really good. We have the logo right there. The paint on the blue and the yellow. Just paint-wise, he's great. Now, waist. He can twist to his left. Not so much, but enough. Twist to his right, you know. And he can't really lean back too much, but he can lean forward a decent amount to actually put this guy down. I feel like his is a little bit harder. This one, let's see, you can see the difference. He can lean forward a pretty good amount. I mean, let me put it this way. He can lean forward. This is a Halo figure from Jazzwares. Well, there he goes popping off, which I was going to do in a second. Kind of ruining the dramatic part of this. But yeah, he can lean forward, and he can't really lean back because of the way his armor is, but he can lean forward. And the reason is because they gave us this joint that actually moves back and forward. More forward than back, probably because they knew that the armor here gets in the way, but it leans forward, which means we finally have an ab crunch in a Jazzwares Halo figure. And that is awesome. Is it the best in the world? No. Is it the worst in the world? No. I mean, look at that. That is honestly so good that I have to applaud them on this because it's something that I know I've been asking for in every single one of my videos since the beginning. Not just for this line, but for the Spartan collection and everything. I've been hoping for an ab crunch. I've been doing my own ab crunch mods, and they finally figured out a way to kind of do it. I don't know how it'll work with other figures, if it'll be very usable with some of the Master Chief figures or anything like that, because I'm sure there's a little bit more to it, considering how the armor is, and it'll probably vary between figures and everything. But the fact that they did it for this ODST makes me so happy. No complaints there. aside from the fact that his doesn't want to crunch forward as much. So I might have to pop him open to see if there's like an issue going on there. But for the most part, again, very, very happy with the articulation. Now for comparisons, here we have the McFarlane rookie action figure. This actually came as a pre-order bonus from Toys R Us back when the game came out. And you can see the difference in size and everything, the difference in the detail and the color. I do prefer the McFarlane paint job a little bit better than the flat black we gotten from the Jazzware one. Just that we have like more of a gunmetal green on him and camo green on his pants. I want to say his pants color green and everything is more accurate, but I feel like this color right here, when it comes to his armor and everything, is a little bit better. It just stands out more. The detail doesn't get lost in all the black and everything, kind of like Rookie on the left here, which is one of my only issues, is that the black, although it looks good in person, when you have lights in front of it like I do right now, it washes out some of the detail. You can't really make it out too well. So paint job obviously goes to McFarlane, but articulation 100% goes to Jazzwares. Even without that ab crunch and everything, goes to Jazzwares. This guy's actually broken at both of the arms. They both fell off and broke. One thing I do want to mention is that his gun here is actually smaller than the one that comes with the Jazzwares one right here. So you could probably get this one in his hand right there. I don't know how well it'll work for him to hold it two-handedly, but yeah, if you wanted to mix and match his weapon with the McFarlane one, I think it might be possible. It's something I'll try definitely in a little bit here, but just want to point that out, that this one is smaller, this one is bigger. Again, detail-wise on this one is just so much nicer than this, but price point wise, even price point wise, I mean, this is cheaper, but articulation wise, yeah, there we go. So really quick, here he is with the McFarlane gun in hand. Honestly, it doesn't look bad at all, except for the fact that the trigger finger doesn't go where the trigger goes because, well, he doesn't have a trigger finger and there's a guard right there. So that's the only disappointing thing, but if you want to give it to him because yours got warped or something, wouldn't be bad at all, though I actually haven't experienced warping with this weapon on either of the figures I've gotten yet, which is, again, kind of amazing, especially if you look at the figure in the SDCC photos. I think his gun was a little bit warped in it, so maybe that's something they fixed. I don't know, but just want to point that out. And while I'm pointing stuff out, I did want to mention that the pistol right here, the grip does fit through the entire guard, and he does hold on to it pretty tight, but try and make sure you get that top finger to go onto the trigger itself. Otherwise, it might be a little bit loose, especially if he's been hanging on to the drop pod controls. I think it stretches out his hand just a little bit, so be aware of that, but he can hold it on pretty well. But if it's not on that trigger guard part, or the trigger part, I should say, it can get loose and fall off. So just want to point that out. Anyways, continuing with some size comparisons, here he is next to a couple of Marines, the newest one from Wave 6 and the one from the Grunt 2 pack. You can see here, he is taller than both of them, but not by much. I think it's just the armor and the boots making him look a little bit bigger. And yeah, honestly, it looks really good. I'm glad I have 3 of these. I definitely need to army build a few more. And I definitely need to get that Marine 3-pack from Amazon eventually, because I need to kind of build that up. I have a good amount of Covenant, not enough of these guys, but glad to have this guy and this guy and the one in the box still available. So it's getting there. As for Master Chief comparison, here he is next to the Infinite Chief and Halo 3 Chief. Looks good. Chief is definitely taller like he should be. Not really anything else to say there. And in case you want to mix and match lines, here he is next to a Mandalorian and a Joy Toy action figure. You can see he is taller than Star Wars figure, as you would expect, and just a little bit shorter than the Joy Toy. And lastly, here he is next to a Fortnite figure and a G.I. Joe figure, so you guys can get that little comparison going on. So are these figures worth it? Yes. Are they the best in the world? Obviously not. There are some flaws, again, with the arms not being able to go too far up because of the armor. Same with the legs, they can't spread out too much, again, because of the armor. But I can see that Jazzwares is definitely actually trying to improve the articulation, especially in the waist. And again, I have to applaud them on that, which again makes this one of the better, at least human figures in the line. So hopefully that's something to keep up, keep messing with, keep tweaking, and make better and better with every new release. Whenever we get Wave 7, hopefully all those figures will have this new updated articulation in the waist, but we'll see how that goes. As for Drop Pod itself, again, 1 out of 2 of them works really good. The other one, the door doesn't want to open. So be aware that you may or may not have a QC issue in that department. Hopefully it's not widespread, and hopefully it's just me getting unlucky and having a bad one here. But aside from that, it does work perfectly fine. I can't get the doors to shoot out, but it works perfectly fine. Detail on both of them I think are great. Drop pod could definitely still use a little bit more paint. It could definitely not look too plasticky, but a little bit smaller like the Star Wars figures, but they should fit in there perfectly fine. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Once again, Amazon affiliate link in the description if you guys want to pick one up yourself. I do recommend it. The shipping should be getting closer and closer. It happened with the Flood pack. You know, it said like it was a month out, it was 2 months out, and now all of a sudden you'll get it in a couple of days. So I wouldn't be surprised if in about a week or two, this will be able to ship and arrive in about like 3 days or something instead of being like a couple of weeks away. So be on the lookout if you guys want to pick it up. Go ahead. Don't know if it'll be in stores, but on Amazon for a good price. Anyways, that is my review for the World of Halo ODST Rookie with drop pod plus accessories. We have to add that in there because it's in the title, right? Hope you guys enjoyed it. Not really much else to say aside from quick spoiler alerts for anybody who's read the books or just Wikipedia'd it. Literally, if you're going to be reading all the books and you don't know anything after Halo ODST with the character, like on seriously, spoilers. But honestly, I just want to say this right now. They did Rookie dirty. They say he's supposed to be like you as the character. That's why he doesn't speak. He's supposed to be like the most successful version of that kind of idea of this is you. The character doesn't speak. You are that character. And then they go ahead and kill him off in the book. What the heck, guys? Like what the actual hell? I mean, that's just messed up. You're saying that that's supposed to be me as the character in the thing, and then you guys kill him in the book. So did you kill me in the book, in the story? Because that's not right. I really wish they hadn't done that. It would have been really nice to see Rookie reappear someday in Halo Infinite or another game or something as just a member of another ODST faction. I know Alpha 9 basically turned into Spartans and then Buck left them. It's just a whole nother thing. But it would have been nice to see Rookie come back. But no, you guys had to kill him off in a book. Kind of just as bad when they killed off, Black Team in the comic book. I mean, they had their own thing going on. You guys just, yeah, it's not cool. Not cool. That's my little rant there. I really wanted to mention it because, man, that's messed up. These guys already fell over because of my rant. Yeah, they're not happy about it. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all later. Goodbye.